So Dedra, when we meet her, she's working for the ISB, and she's so proud to be doing that. But she's
Stunning and
surrounded
brave.
by what she considers to be quite inept men, mostly. Well, no, all men, really. So yeah, but she's surrounded by lazy, slouching, kind of corner-cutting boys, and she.
Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch! G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. As we are only 2 days away from Andor being released on Disney+, I wanted to go over some of the advertising clips and things like that they've been dropping to try and build some hype for the series. Now the first one that we're going to take a look at has Tony Gilroy in it. Now Tony Gilroy is the creator, he created this story, and I just wanted to remind you all of what he actually said to the fans to prepare them for the Andor series back in May in a Vanity Fair interview. Tony Gilroy reveals the show will alter Star Wars canon. There are certain events that happen in these 5 years that are important and that need to be paid attention to. There are certain people, characters that are legacy characters that the audience, the passionate audience, really feel that they have an understanding of and know. He goes on to say, in some cases they're right, and in some cases what I'm saying is, what you know, what you've been told, what's on Wikipedia, what you've been telling each other is really all wrong. So basically, before they've even started this series, they're basically just telling the fans that everything that you knew about this part of the story, the rebellion being formed and all of these things happening in this time period, you're completely wrong. Again, we've got to wait and see what they do with it and how they decide to change it. Now, of course, there was the character that plays Mon Mothma that came out and said, you know, it's really nice to have a lot of new female characters and a lot of female voices and, of course, the diversity. It's going to be interesting to see how this is adapted. And when you listen to people that have watched the first couple of episodes, like Grace Randolph, that says it's really kind of boring or, you know, it's no good because there's no Easter eggs. You can check out my last video, which I talked about that. It's absolute bullshit. Anyway, let's take a look at what Tony Gilroy actually has to say about the series.
And there's a new dial on everybody's console, which is how long should my story be? Is it 3 episodes? Is it 7? Is it 12? What is it? You got to pick the right number.
We sort of signed up for 5 years. We thought there was going to be 5 seasons of this, and then thankfully Diego was like, I'll die if I do 5 seasons. So they condensed it into this amazing, I don't know how he's done it, but he has condensed. Tony Gilroy has managed to do 1 more season, and you're going to have told the whole story.
Okay, so before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to point out, so obviously they were slated to be doing 5 seasons. Now, whether or not they were all green lit or not, who knows? But based on what they're saying, there was 5 seasons. And he condensed the story into 2 seasons. Now, that may be the reason why we're getting 12 episodes. You know, that maybe they were only 6 to 8 episodes, like the bullshit seasons we get these days. Look, I've got no confidence whatsoever in Lucasfilm at the moment. None. They fucked Obi-Wan Kenobi. They've pretty much fucked Mora Vader in that story too. They've fucked Boba Fett. They've fucked the Mandalorians with the Mandalorian and all the garbage that they're bringing out with that. Now, I know that they're obviously going to be putting a bit of those story threads into Mando Season 3, so we'll see how that all pans out. But again, this is the whole thing that I get pissed off about. They decanonize the EU because they want a creative freedom, but then they keep picking what they want from the EU and changing what those things were and what made those things so good. Why Star Wars has been around for 40, 50 years. Anyway, let's continue.
It's fermenting out there, son.
Tony kind of fleshed out what was going to happen potentially for the rest of the season, but he hadn't written it yet. And when he was talking about Cyril, he was like, at this point, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I don't know. Is he going to end up like this? Is he going to end up like that? I don't know. And I was like, okay, man, like, well, I'll just take that as a starting point.
That's
and use that kind of
No, it's not.
And complexity of like, is he or isn't he?
But that makes...
Okay, I gotta stop there. So, do you think that's good like storytelling for a person that's creating the story doesn't even know where it's ending. From what I've been told by people that write and storytellers, they basically say either you start with the end, you figure out where you want to be at the end of it, and then you tell the story to get to that point. This, and it seems with everything else that Lucasfilm seem to do, is they basically just start it because they've got an idea and they have no idea where they want it to go. We'll see. That's like, we've obviously got to see what they do with it. But season 1 to season 2 of The Mandalorian doesn't tie up well at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how they've come up with these story threads, making it up as they go.
Makes total sense to give you that note before it even starts. So even within like creating a character, you're like, I'm not sure. But it was like he needed me to commit to, don't try and like make this girl sweet and nice underneath it all. No. He just wanted me to go hell for leather.
Yeah.
Again, they're just talking about how fucking stupid, like to me, it's fucking stupid that they're coming up with the story as they're making it. Storyboard it out. You've got to know where you're going with these story threads. He's like, I don't know whether or not he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy. Fuck. Like, how are you even supposed to act that? You know, if he's supposed to be a good guy underneath it all, you know, like a spy or a mole infiltrated, then he needs to know that so that he can act accordingly. I mean, I'm no movie maker, but this just seems really pathetic. Especially for a multi-billion-dollar company, Lucasfilm, to tell stories this way. This is entertainment. Is that it for this video?
It's really fantastic to be able to stretch out to have just, you know, a Dickensian amount of characters that interact and tell a massive story. You don't want to waste time. You want to keep your skills, your compression skills, but man, it's very liberating.
Okay, so that's the first one. Really, from what we heard from Tony Gilroy in that clip, it really feels like he has no fucking clue. And it doesn't surprise me, because everybody that's been creating Star Wars since Disney took it over has no idea how the Star Wars universe works. People want to argue, oh, Dave Filoni knows. He was an apprentice to George Lucas. Yeah, okay, maybe he was, but now he's jumped on the little Disney bullshit bandwagon and he's making his own shit. You know, oh, how about we put in a female character? Oh, how unfair. What a fucking dickhead. Next video, let's take a look at this one.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied. To steal from the Empire, you just walk in like you belong.
In Rogue One, you don't get to know much about Cassian. What had to happen to a man for him to say, I'm gonna sacrifice everything, just for the hope of change.
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. I'm tired of losing.
Andor is an intricate, character-driven spy thriller that lives in the world of Star Wars.
Action. The show is a prequel. It rewinds back 5 years from the events of Rogue One. Small acts of rebellion are just spontaneously happening all over the galaxy. It's about people in a very potent moment in history.
I came looking for something and I think I found it.
I got to pause there for a second. So just what Tony Gilroy was saying there, we're 5 years before A New Hope. 5 years essentially before Rogue One. And they've got little sectors still everywhere. The rebellion hasn't even really truly formed. See, to me, that's horrible. Are they even gonna give us what's happened in the 14 years after Revenge of the Sith up to where we are now to give us a good lead into this story? Probably not, because they didn't do it with Obi-Wan. All they did with Obi-Wan was tell us that he's cut himself off from the Force, he hasn't been training, he hasn't been doing any of his mandate, anything that Yoda was telling him to do or anything, and he seemed like he was quite content in his actions at the end of Revenge of the Sith. But then they basically just, it's almost like that Obi-Wan started the very next day, right? Like nothing's really happened in that time. We know that 10 years went by. but nothing happened. Nothing. And it feels like it's going to be the same thing with this.
The scale of a project like this is really big.
Really?
Andor is unapologetically ambitious. As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
It is the building of a revolution.
All right, I got to give Diego Luna some credit. I have not once yet heard him talk about those talking points, you know, like we've got a lot of strong female characters, you know, we've got a really diverse cast. There were plenty of women behind the camera. You know, there were plenty of black characters. There were plenty of Asian characters. We got the diversity checkbox all ticked off. Like, he hasn't done any of that. Every time I've seen him speak about this Andor series, it's been about the series, what the series is about. And that's how it should be promoted. So again, I've got to give him credit for that. But then it all falls down. It all comes crumbling down because of a dumb bitch like this.
So Dedra, when we meet her, she's working for the ISB, and she's so proud to be doing that, but she's
Stunning and
surrounded
brave.
by what she considers to be quite inept men, mostly. Well, no, all men, really. So, yeah, but she's surrounded by lazy, slouching, kind of corner-cutting boys. And she...
Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch! Everything that Diego Luna basically did to give this series any goodwill, you just destroyed with your stupid words.
doesn't like it. So she's gonna climb the ranks at whatever cost to everyone else.
Of course, because she's a strong woman. You want to hear it again?
So Dedra, when we meet her, she's working for the ISB, and she's so
Watch him. Watch his
proud
face.
to be doing that, but she's surrounded by what she considers to be quite inept men, mostly. Well, no, all men, really. So, yeah, but she's surrounded.
Oh, there's a cut there too. As soon as she says all men, he's kind of like taken aback by it.
Surrounded by lazy, slouching, kind of corner-cutting boys, and she doesn't like it. So she's gonna climb the ranks at whatever cost to everyone else.
Great. Thanks for telling us what your character is all about. It's about looking at the boys, looking at all these men taking shortcuts, all the men, not just some of all the men. You want to hear that bit again?
Considers to be quite inept men, mostly. Well, no, all men. Really.
All men.
So
all men. It's so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. There's one certified way to get your audience to click off your shit, and this is it. Play the woke card. Women, we're so oppressed. We don't get to make the same choices as men. And when we do make those same choices, apparently all the men, they just take shortcuts and they're fucking gross and disgusting. Fuck off! You know what the Star Wars fan base is predominantly men? I'm not saying that there's not women that are fucking Star Wars fans. There are plenty of them. And plenty of good ones. But it is predominantly men. Fucking go for your Disney princesses, you fucking princess. Anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. There was some good advertising in there. That one that we watched in the middle, they didn't talk anything. They just told us what it was about. It's a spy thriller. Cassian Andor, we're telling a bit more about his story. You didn't get to see all his story in Rogue One. Cool. This first one, that wasn't too bad either. There was a couple of things in there where it's just, condensing the script from 5 seasons to 2 seasons. There was the fact that they don't even know where these characters are going to end up. They're just making it up as they go along. So to be honest with you, that video was pretty fucking shit too. But anyway, look, that's my thoughts on it. We're 2 days away. It's about to be released. I'm sure there's plenty of Disney fucking Star Wars shills, fans, stans, all you dumb cunts that pay no attention to lore, continuity, like character development, anything. As long as you get your jangling keys, your nostalgia bait, your Easter eggs, right, Grace? Then you're all good to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.